I'm about to blow your mind because this list is celebrities that you would have never guessed are related to each other. And the first one is Sabrina Carpenter. Do you know who her mother is? Do you know how Sabrina Carpenter had the connections to be famous? Her mother is Bart freaking Simpson. That's right. Her mother is Nancy Cartwright, the voice of pretty much all of your favorite cartoons from the 90s. Like, my mind is blown. When I read that and I saw that, I was like, yeah, if you didn't know Bart was voiced by a woman, most kid cartoons are all voiced by women. So like Tommy Pickles from Rugrats, Bart Simpson's, Ash Ketchum, those are all voiced by women. This doctor from The Pit, Taylor Dearden, that's actually Bryan Cranston's daughter. In fact, pretty much the whole cast of The Pit are Nepo babies, okay? I don't remember this doctor. I can't stand her. But this guy in this scene right here, that's her dad. He was also a famous actor. And then Lou Ferrigno Jr., the newest doctor in season 2, the guy that's known as the Shark, his dad was, you guessed it, Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. Like, they're all Nepo babies, the whole cast. Speaking of Sabrina Carpenter earlier, pretty much all your modern young girl singers are all Nepo babies. J.J. Abrams, he has a daughter that's pretty famous right now, Gracie Abrams. That's right, Gracie Abrams is the daughter of the famous movie director who did like all the new modern Star Wars and Star Trek and a bunch of the sci-fi films. Now, it's no secret that Miley Cyrus's family is full of famous singers. There's her dad, obviously. There's her. Her sister kind of dabbles in it. But do you know who her brother is? Because I sure didn't. Have you ever heard of a band called Metro Station that has that famous song that came out in 2007, that shake, 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 shake it? Yeah, I'm not going to sing the whole song. Anyhow, that's her brother, Trace Cyrus. Mind blown. Didn't know. So Robin from Stranger Things, her real name is Maya Hawke. Her dad is Ethan Hawke. But her mom is Uma Thurman. Okay, I had no clue that those two were together, let alone they had a daughter that was also famous, and you're seeing her all over TV now. Snoop Dogg, Brandy, and RJ are all 3 first cousins, which means their parents are direct siblings. What a musically talented family. Like, to have 3 first cousins, all your brothers and sisters' kids, just wildly successful. Rob Schneider has a famous daughter, but you probably wouldn't guess it because of her name. It's Elle King. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she has that wildly catchy song that's like, my exes and oh-oh-ohs that got me. That song, that's his daughter, Elle King. She changed her name because she did not want to get the Nepo baby label. And so she actually took her mother's maiden name. If you've made it this far, my wife is actually doing roller derby, and their team is taking donations to help pay for like their uniforms and for their team's travel. Roller derby isn't like a super funded sport. So if you guys want to help out, if you donate $1, for every $1 you donate, she has to do a lap. The link is going to be in the comments. Please make her do as many laps as humanly possible. But thank you all so much for supporting our page here. It's dark outside, so I bet you thought we were going to do another scary video. No, we're going to do the second installment of celebrities that are related that you had no idea were related to each other. And first, we're going to start off with Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Brad Pitt, and Sarah Palin. They're all cousins. They all have a great-grandfather in common. What? The relative they share in common can be traced back to Virginia, and there's actually a huge rabbit hole you can go down on like almost all presidents and like high political people are related or tied together in one way or another. It's super creepy. This is going to be a long one. So Michael Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson, obviously Janet Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Tracy Chapman, and Cheryl Lee Ralph are all cousins also. Now it's weird because Samuel L. Jackson actually denied in a previous interview that they were related, and Janet Jackson was like, no, he's our cousin. He's our cousin. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think Samuel L. Jackson wanted to be tied to that. I don't think he wanted to get the label of like a Nepo baby or being related to people that are already famous. I think he wanted to like make it on his own. But yeah, he's their cousin. All right. And I made a lot of people mad the other day when I talked about The Pit. Okay. If you guys didn't know it, almost every actor and actress on The Pit is a Nepo baby. Okay. And I brushed over this one. It's Fiona Dourif. Okay. I don't like her character in The Pit. I don't like her in anything she's ever been in. Okay. I didn't realize who she was until somebody said it. Her dad is on The Pit as a little guest star. Her dad is the voice of Chucky, okay? Her dad is Brad Dourif, the voice of the Chucky franchise for over 30 years, okay? And I didn't realize she's in a ton of the Chucky movies. I just did not put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, the worst character on The Pit, besides that one girl that kind of looks like a fish in the face, I can't think of her name. Anyhow, her dad is Chucky. Mind-blowing. And I never realized it because they look the exact same when you put them side by side, but Zooey Deschanel is the sister of the Bones actress. Okay, she is also a Deschanel, and I didn't even realize that was her last name. I believe her name is Emily Deschanel. Anyhow, they're sisters. And when you put them side by side, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not see this before? Independently, they do not look alike. You put them next to each other, they're twins. Now, Emma Roberts is the niece of the famous actress Julia Roberts. And her dad is also a famous Roberts. It's Eric Roberts. He was in a ton of stuff back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But you probably would know him more, like the younger people would probably know him from the Batman movie, The Dark Knight. He's like the mafia boss that works with the Joker. Anyhow, yeah, that's her dad. So, big, huge, famous Hollywood family. John Jones just has perfection and like athleticism in his family's DNA. So John Jones, obviously famous UFC fighter. He had a brother, Arthur Jones, and Chandler Jones, that are both in the NFL. Now, unfortunately, his brother Arthur did pass away last year at only the age of 39. But Chandler, his other brother, is also an NFL player. So just wildly successful, super athletic. Could you imagine that household growing up? Like how competitive of a household that was? Everybody has seen Napoleon Dynamite, so you know John Heder, the guy who plays Napoleon, right? You've seen him on Blades of Glory and Benchwarmers, tons of other stuff. But did you know that he has an identical twin brother named Dan Heder? Now, Dan Heder is not the famous actor that John is. But if you've seen John, you've seen his brother Dan, okay? And Dan actually appears on a lot of projects with John. And also they help each other on voice acting roles because their voices also sound identical. So a lot of times when John Heder is doing voice acting, Dan would just step in for him and do some of the roles. Also, some of the times that they needed body doubles, or if there was some time that, John was working a lot, Dan would step in for him if he was just like in the background of a scene or standing around, because you cannot tell them apart. They are truly identical. Now, in our weird little multiverse that we live in, not only did Napoleon Dynamite have a twin brother, but Pedro also had a twin brother. So they would often go to like all the screenings and like the different big events for Napoleon Dynamite with each other's twins. So, Dan and Pedro's twin would be together, and John and Pedro would be together, and it would just really mess people up because they would be in two different places literally at the same time. It was pretty wild. Cardi B and her cousin Glorilla. Okay, so like I said, most people that are in singing or acting, especially this day and age, they always say it's not it's not what you know, it's who you know, and it proves it time and time again. We see this example. A few people grind it out and make it, but it's mostly you're related to somebody. So Cardi B and Glorilla, guys, if you guys didn't hear Glorilla, I love Cardi B's music. You wouldn't believe it. I love Cardi B's music. But Glorilla actually had a very embarrassing moment the other day where she did like an iHeartRadio festival, and they expected thousands and thousands of people to show up, and only like 400 people showed up. So the camera angles, if you go and look at that, it's all like these weird camera angles, so you can't tell that the whole stadium is essentially empty and everybody is sitting just like essentially right in the front row. They actually moved people up so it would look like it was full. That makes me cringe. That makes my stomach hurt. If you all have made it this far, guys, my wife is actually doing roller derby. Yeah, she's a badass. Here's her photo. I know she looks beautiful. You guys can tell me that she's beautiful all you want to. Trust me, I know how lucky I am. Anyhow, they are raising money for their uniforms, their travel, all this stuff. Roller derby, surprisingly, is not very well funded. So if you guys want to donate, there's going to be a link in the comments. For every $1 you donate, she has to do a lap, and those laps will be live streamed to prove that she's doing them, okay? So if her goal fills up, donate to some of the other people on the team. Let's get them going, guys. They have to go to like Utah and all over the country. And we're just trying to make sure that team is funded because it's a really cool thing for Oklahoma to have their own roller derby team. Technology is about to take a terrifying turn for the worst. If you all have not heard about it, Ford Motor Company has filed multiple patents that have a lot of people concerned, okay? One of the patents is for microphones in the vehicle to listen to passenger conversations so they know how to market ads to you. And other companies can buy into this so they know how to market ads to you based on the private conversations you're having in your car. Now, I don't know about you, but no part of that is okay with me. Ford Motor Company has already filed this patent. It's not a myth. It's not a conspiracy. They filed the patent. They do not have it in any vehicles yet that we know of, right? Obviously, there's always that conspiracy that they're listening to us all the time through our phones and everything else. But other patents have been filed that are causing just as much concern, okay? They're talking about this new feature in the electronics of the car that would be for law enforcement. So like say if you had a warrant out for your arrest, any car registered to your name, they can just turn it off. All right. You're in a high speed chase as a criminal, they can just turn your car off. And while, yes, in theory, those have great applications. If you're a criminal, you deserve to have your car turned off. If they're looking for you and they need to arrest you, great. Your vehicle doesn't work. That's awesome. Okay. But where it can be used for the dark side is you talk about a police state type situation. We see it in movies and TV shows, and we read about it in books that it could possibly happen. Could it really happen? Imagine in a world where you didn't want to conform to a rule, or you wanted to go off grid, or what have you. They can just turn your car off. Maybe in the future they'll introduce permits that you have to have, kind of like how in China, in other parts of the country or other parts of the world, you have to have permits to have a vehicle, and you can only drive that vehicle on certain days or times. They could control these types of things in that type of future with that technology, and that's a scary thought to have. It's how would you feel if they told you, oh hey, the climate's getting pretty bad, so you can only drive your cars Monday through Fridays from this time to this time, or you can only use your vehicle to go to work and from work. Outside of that time, we're just going to turn your car off. Because that's the possibilities that they would be able to control those types of things. Guys, these patents are out there. It is not not a myth. I mean, they filed this stuff. You can look these patents up for yourself. Another creepy one is what's called the snitch interceptor. This patent was actually filed in 2023, and it would be for a camera to be inside of your vehicle at all times that could actually record if you were speeding, if you ran a stop sign, if you ran a red light. It would essentially just snitch on you all the time, and they would just send tickets right to your house or arrest you, what have you, however they want to handle that situation. They could see if you were driving recklessly, and they could actually slow your car down or make it come to a stop. Then it would alert the police of where that car is to come get you. I'm not kidding. It's the snitch interceptor 2023 patent that was filed. Okay, I feel like this is a big overstepping of bounds. Okay, like that is too much. I mean, you're talking about microphones in your own car, cameras in your own car. Like there would be no privacy in your own vehicle technically. Like what? Once again, the reason why they're saying that these applications are needed are if somebody gets behind the wheel drunk or behind the wheel, smoking, or they see that you're texting and, while you're driving or you're distracted, it can use AI features in the camera. They say that no live person will be watching the camera or listening to the microphones. It's going to be AI technology. So if you're talking about, oh, I'm drunk and I'm driving, it would just turn the car off and it would report you to the police right away. It would make you come to a stop and slow down. Like it would... I see what they're saying. The applications in theory are great and all, okay? But let's face it. We know how the government works. We know how the world works. I see that as a sneaky way to put some big brother technology in our stuff and us just be okay with it. And I am not okay with it. If you like these videos where we talk about true crime and spooky stuff and conspiracies and paranormal, follow our page on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can listen to our long form videos. It's called Matt from Nomads. The link to follow that podcast will be in the comments. Big news in Oklahoma. Okay, Barry Christian was running for Oklahoma State Senate on the Republican Party side. He was reported missing, I believe, on Wednesday. And last night, Thursday night, they did identify, this is, last night, April 30th, they did identify that his body was found inside of his truck. It appeared to have been crashed. So yesterday, they were just saying that they'd found his truck in the wildlife refuge south of Eric, Oklahoma. And then today they actually released some of those photos and videos of that scene. A lot of people were wondering maybe if it was something where he took his own life. Judging by this photo, I wouldn't say so, but I mean, that's still being investigated right now. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is looking into it currently. It is awfully suspicious, of course, when you have somebody who is running for a pretty big office that goes missing and then is now deceased. So we're still going to figure out what's going on there. Was it some kind of medical condition that caused him to wreck off the road? Did somebody wreck him off the road, or did he take his own life? We don't know yet. It could have been a pure accident as well. Maybe a deer jumped in front of him. But it was at the wildlife refuge down south of Eric, Oklahoma. Okay. We're probably going to stay on top of this and see what happens. In the next few days, we'll probably know a lot more. Spirit Airlines has closed permanently, and they're ceasing immediately. People have tickets right now today on May 2nd, 2026 for Spirit Airlines, and they're just getting canceled and refunded, and they're getting stranded. There's people stranded all over the place because Spirit Airlines is filing a bankruptcy again for the third time, and this means they're done. They're done and over, and they're ceasing right away. Apparently, they have so little money in the account, they cannot even fuel up the planes or pay the staff, so they're having to stop right now. No more planes. There's people literally right now supposed to be about to get on their Spirit Airlines. And what am I going to do? So apparently American Airlines and United have made deals to try to help those stranded passengers. But it's just a wild development. I've had an awful experience in Spirit Airline. Everybody always called that the poor people's airline because they used recycled planes. One time we lost cabin air pressure, and I thought everybody on the airplane's eardrums were going to explode. It was one of the worst experiences of my entire life. It was also the first time I'd ever been on an airplane, so it scared the daylights out of me. I almost never wanted to fly again because the experience was so bad. So I get it. So if you know anybody flying today, make sure they ain't got Spirit, because that plane ain't getting them.